Hello everyone, this is Mr. Pearson. I hope you're all okay. It's been a long time since I've seen most of you, and to be honest I've missed it, and I've missed taking assemblies. So I thought today I would take the chance to do an online assembly for you to watch, because today marks a very special day. Today, the 8th of May 2020, is the 75th anniversary of VE Day. Now, you may already know this, and you may have heard of VE Day, and you may even be celebrating it today. But you might also wonder what it is, why do we celebrate it, and why is it important? So I thought I might tell you a little bit about it today. So, VE Day is actually Victory in Europe Day, and it marks the end of World War II in Europe. The Second World War, which took place between 1939 to 1945, did continue a little bit longer in the Pacific region against the Japanese. But VE Day marks the end of the war against Britain's biggest threat, Nazi Germany, led by their dictator, Adolf Hitler. World War II took place between 1939 to 1945. For almost 6 years, the vast majority of the world's countries fought against each other. There were two great military alliances. The Allies, which included Great Britain, France, the Soviet Union, and later on the USA, as well as other countries such as Poland, Australia, New Zealand, India, fought against the other alliance called the Axis, which included Nazi Germany, Italy, and the Japanese Empire. The war started after Hitler ordered his armies to invade neighbouring countries. The Allies didn't think he should do this, and after the peace talks failed, the two sides entered a ferocious war that took place across Europe, Africa, and Asia, costing many millions of lives. At first, Germany and its Axis powers were winning the war. It was terribly hard for the people of Britain at that time. Many young men and women went to war. Dads, brothers, uncles, mums, sisters, and aunties all went to fight overseas. Back home, mums, sisters, aunties especially worked day and night in factories and on farms to help the war effort. Due to blockades in the Atlantic by German U-boats, there was not enough food in Britain for everyone. So the food was rationed, and some food you couldn't get at all, like eggs or even chocolate. Families in cities were attacked by bombing raids called the Blitz. And at the sound of a siren, they would have to hide in a shelter in their back garden, or in London, they used to hide down in tube stations. Unfortunately, huge parts of cities like London and Coventry, that's not too far away from our schools, were destroyed. It wasn't safe for many children to be in cities or towns because of the bombing, so they were actually sent away from their families in a huge move called evacuations. And they wouldn't be with their families for weeks or even months. Now, you might think that all this hardship and not knowing what was happening to your loved ones far away would be enough to make the people give up and say, let's surrender and end the war. But oh no, there were heroes on the battlefield, but there were also heroes back home. After the Battle of Britain, in the skies over the English Channel, and the D-Day landings on the French beaches, the Allies started to win the war. But as I said, there were heroes at home too. After listening to their Prime Minister, Winston Churchill, the British people did what they needed to do at home to try and win the war. They dug for victory, planting their own seeds and growing their own food. They saved scrap metal, they fixed their broken clothes, and they did everything they could for the greater good and for what they called the war effort. Eventually, the Allies, on the 8th of May in 1945, 75 years ago today, won the war in Europe. Of course, there was huge relief in the country, and this all came out in huge street parties right across the land. Famously, people gathered outside Buckingham Palace to wave at the royal family. Our Queen Elizabeth was there, even though she was quite young at the time. And everyone had huge celebrations that they had finally got through this terrible time and they could once again see their loved ones. So today, 75 years on, we are remembering all of those heroes. We're going to remember what they did and what they sacrificed to ensure that we could all enjoy living in the free world that we live in now. And it makes me think about what we're actually doing at the moment today. Today, we're being asked to be heroes ourselves. We're under a lockdown. We're being asked to stay at home. We can't see our friends, our family. We can't go to school. All of this so we can beat something called the coronavirus. Now, this has been scary for us. It's made us feel worried, and it's made us feel a bit lonely when we can't see people. But today, of all days, I think we should look back at the World War II heroes and take inspiration from their strength and bravery. They had to go through hardships, but they did what needed to be done for the greater good. And eventually, at the end of it, they came out and they were able to celebrate what they'd done and what they'd achieved. And I'd like to think of them and the party they had 75 years ago today, and think forward into the not too distant future when we can come out having done what we needed to do, beaten coronavirus, and we can all come back together and hopefully have a very big party. I hope you've all enjoyed learning a little bit more about VE Day. For now, take care, stay safe, and we look forward to seeing you all back at school soon. Bye.